Preparing your brain for sleep is an essential yet often overlooked process in the pursuit of optimal health and performance. Sleep is not simply the absence of wakefulness, but a carefully orchestrated neurological transition that requires deliberate preparation. The brain, a complex organ driven by a symphony of neural circuits and chemical messengers, needs the right conditions to switch from the high, alert state of wakefulness to the restorative state of sleep. Understanding how to prepare your brain for this transition is the key to unlocking better sleep quality, improved cognitive function, and enhanced emotional resilience. At the heart of preparing the brain for sleep lies the concept of circadian rhythms, internal biological clocks that regulate the timing of sleep and wakefulness, body temperature, hormone release, and other physiological functions. These rhythms are predominantly synchronized by light exposure, making light the most powerful environmental cue to set the timing of your sleep cycle. To prepare your brain for sleep, you must respect and work with these rhythms rather than against them. One of the most effective ways to prepare your brain for sleep is by controlling your light environment. During the day, especially in the morning, exposing yourself to bright, natural light helps set the timing for melatonin release in the evening. Melatonin is the hormone responsible for signaling to your brain that it is time to sleep. Without appropriate light cues during the day, your internal clock becomes misaligned, delaying melatonin production and making it harder for your brain to transition into sleep mode. As evening approaches, the goal is to reduce exposure to artificial light, particularly blue light emitted from screens such as phones, computers, and televisions. Blue light suppresses melatonin secretion by activating specialized retinal cells that communicate with the brain's master clock, the suprachiasmatic nucleus. This suppression delays the natural rise of melatonin and thus delays the brain's preparation for sleep. Reducing blue light exposure by dimming lights or using blue light-blocking glasses in the hours before bed supports the brain's natural sleep signaling. Temperature is another critical factor in preparing the brain for sleep. The brain's sleep-promoting centers are highly sensitive to body and ambient temperature changes. Normally, your core body temperature decreases by about 1 degree Celsius as you fall asleep, signaling the brain that it's time to enter deeper stages of sleep. Facilitating this drop through environmental adjustments, like cooling your bedroom to between 16 and 19 degrees Celsius, or behavioral interventions, such as taking a warm bath an hour or two before bedtime, can enhance the brain's ability to prepare for and enter sleep. The brain's transition into sleep is also governed by a complex interplay of neurotransmitters, chemical messengers that either promote arousal or relaxation. Gamma-aminobutyric acid, GABA, is the primary inhibitory neurotransmitter that quiets neural activity and allows the brain to enter sleep states. Meanwhile, excitatory neurotransmitters like glutamate and norepinephrine must decrease to reduce cortical arousal. Preparing your brain for sleep involves creating conditions that boost GABAergic activity and suppress excitatory signals. This can be achieved through relaxation techniques such as controlled breathing, meditation, and progressive muscle relaxation, which activate the parasympathetic nervous system and calm neural circuits. One particularly effective technique is slow, deliberate breathing at about 6 breaths per minute. This respiratory rate stimulates the vagus nerve, which acts as a gateway to parasympathetic nervous system activation. By engaging this relaxation pathway, the brain receives signals to downregulate stress responses, reduce heart rate, and prepare for sleep. Regular practice of slow breathing before bedtime can significantly improve the brain's readiness to transition into sleep. In addition to breathing, mindfulness and meditation practices help reduce the cognitive hyperarousal that often prevents sleep onset. Many people struggle with racing thoughts or anxiety in the evening, which elevates stress hormones like cortisol and keeps the brain in a heightened state of alertness. Meditation helps modulate the activity of brain regions involved in emotion regulation and stress, facilitating the deactivation of wake-promoting networks. Physical activity plays a dual role in preparing the brain for sleep. Moderate to vigorous exercise during the day increases the accumulation of adenosine, a neuromodulator that promotes sleep pressure, the biological drive to sleep. However, exercising too close to bedtime can elevate cortisol and body temperature, both of which counteract sleep preparation. Timing exercise at least 3 hours before sleep maximizes its beneficial effects on sleep pressure without interfering with the brain's transition into rest. Nutrition also influences the neurochemical environment of the brain. Consuming foods rich in tryptophan, magnesium, and certain B vitamins in the evening can support neurotransmitter synthesis related to sleep promotion. Tryptophan is a precursor to serotonin, which in turn converts to melatonin. Magnesium facilitates GABA activity, promoting relaxation. Being mindful of caffeine and alcohol intake is equally important, as caffeine blocks adenosine receptors and delays sleep pressure buildup, while alcohol disrupts sleep architecture and reduces deep sleep. An often overlooked element in preparing the brain for sleep is the establishment of a consistent sleep schedule. The brain thrives on predictability and routine. Going to bed and waking up at the same time each day reinforces circadian rhythms, stabilizes melatonin release patterns, and enhances the brain's ability to anticipate sleep. Irregular schedules, shift work, or frequent changes in bedtime disrupt this system and impair the brain's natural sleep preparation. The environment where you sleep is the final piece in this puzzle. Creating a space that is dark, quiet, and cool signals safety and comfort to the brain, reducing vigilance and allowing the sleep-promoting neural circuits to engage fully. Using blackout curtains, white noise machines, or earplugs can mitigate disturbances and help maintain a steady, uninterrupted sleep state. It is also important to understand the role of the hypothalamic, pituitary, adrenal, as HEPA axis, the body's central stress response system in sleep preparation. When the HPA axis is overactivated due to chronic stress, it elevates cortisol levels and disrupts the delicate balance required for sleep initiation. Managing stress through behavioral interventions, cognitive techniques, and lifestyle adjustments is vital to allow the brain to prepare effectively for sleep. Another important brain signal involved in sleep preparation is adenosine accumulation. As you remain awake throughout the day, adenosine builds up and binds to specific receptors that promote sleepiness. This sleep pressure ensures that the brain transitions smoothly into sleep when it is time. However, if this buildup is disrupted by napping too long during the day or consuming stimulants late in the afternoon, the brain's natural sleep signals weaken. Additionally, preparing the brain for sleep requires managing mental and emotional states. Evening routines that include journaling or reflecting on the day can offload worries and mental clutter. Cognitive behavioral strategies designed to challenge anxious thoughts can prevent the mind from engaging in rumination at night, allowing the brain to disengage from wakeful processes and transition into sleep. On a neurophysiological level, preparing your brain also means facilitating the production and maintenance of slow wave activity, the hallmark of deep restorative sleep. Slow wave sleep is crucial for memory consolidation, synaptic homeostasis, and metabolic waste clearance via the glymphatic system. Activities and habits that promote deep sleep also indirectly support the brain's readiness to enter sleep by strengthening the circuits responsible for slow wave generation. In this context, one's exposure to natural environments, social interactions, and stress management all contribute to the brain's capacity to prepare for and maintain deep sleep. In contrast, excessive exposure to stressors, artificial light at night, erratic routines, and stimulants impair these brain signals and lead to poor sleep quality. To truly prepare your brain for sleep, you must adopt a holistic approach that considers the interplay of environmental, behavioral, physiological, and psychological factors. This preparation is not just about winding down, but about actively creating conditions that allow the brain's sleep, promoting circuits to dominate and suppress wake promoting networks. In practice, this means starting your day with intentional light exposure, managing stress through mindfulness or breathing techniques, maintaining a regular schedule, optimizing your sleep environment, avoiding stimulants late in the day, timing exercise appropriately, and paying attention to nutrition. Each of these factors contributes to the neurochemical and neurophysiological milieu necessary for the brain to prepare itself effectively for sleep. Understanding the brain's preparation for sleep also informs how you respond to occasional sleeplessness or disrupted nights. Instead of forcing sleep or becoming anxious about it, which paradoxically activates arousal circuits, you can engage in behaviors that gently promote relaxation and alignment with your circadian rhythms, thereby reestablishing the brain's capacity for sleep. Ultimately, preparing your brain for sleep is a skill, one that requires attention, consistency, and respect for the brain's biology. By learning and applying the science of sleep preparation, you empower yourself to not only fall asleep more easily, but also experience deeper, more restorative sleep, enhancing your mental, emotional, and physical health in profound ways. If you want, I can provide the concluding paragraph now. In preparing your brain for sleep, You embrace a science-backed process that honors the intricate biological rhythms and neural mechanisms governing rest. It is not simply about trying harder to fall asleep, but about creating an environment, both internal and external, that naturally guides your brain toward its restorative state. When you align your behaviors with your brain's needs through light management, temperature regulation, stress reduction, consistent routines, and mindful practices, you facilitate a seamless transition from wakefulness to deep, regenerative sleep. This deliberate preparation not only improves the quality of your rest, but also enhances your cognitive function, emotional balance, and overall well-being. The power to optimize your sleep lies in understanding and respecting your brain's signals, making each night a true opportunity for renewal.